I am Matt Benson, and this is Emily Peniskovic, and we are here from Cook Little to congratulate all of the entrepreneurs participating in the New Hampshire Tech Alliance Innovation Summit. As business attorneys, we are grateful for the opportunity to regularly work with New Hampshire's most creative minds and to help local entrepreneurs start and grow their businesses.
For over 20 years, Cook Little has worked with New Hampshire entrepreneurs to address a variety of business and legal matters in a practical and effective way. Connect with us to hear more about our fixed price startup package and other ways that we can help you and your business grow and meet its potential.
Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. My name is Julie Demers, and I'm the Executive Director of the New Hampshire Tech Alliance. The Alliance is committed to nurturing a vibrant tech ecosystem by building partnerships, enhancing knowledge, shaping public policy, and providing platforms to celebrate innovation in the Granite State. This event is an incredible opportunity for us to do just that. We hope that most of you have had the opportunity to tune into some of the content we've released this week as we celebrate the full entrepreneurial life cycle in New Hampshire. While 2020 has challenged all of us in unprecedented ways, we hope that tonight will serve as a reminder that there are still great things happening in this state. The startups you're about to see and the entrepreneur we're about to recognize are inspirational examples of the potential for innovation in New Hampshire. Tonight's program will be 1 hour long. At the end of the program, we invite you to join us in Remo for a networking event with the startups, as well as our 2020 Entrepreneur of the Year. Our sponsors' contributions not only allow us to produce this event, they also allow the Alliance to support startups like those you will see tonight through our startup initiatives and programming. First and foremost, a virtual event of this caliber would not be possible without the Events United team and the incredible space at the Studio Lab in Derry. I cannot express how grateful we are to have a safe environment for our startups, past winners, and volunteers to create this evening's program and the content that you've seen throughout the week. Now I'm going to recognize our sponsors. First, our two presenting sponsors and tech ecosystem partners, Cook Little, Rosenblatt & Manson, and Q7. Our Innovation Summit champions, Army, Connection, Whipfly, York IE. Our friends, Autodesk, Comcast, Cross Insurance, Manchester Boston Regional Airport, Paragon Digital Marketing, People's United Bank, Sunrise Labs, Sheehan Finney, and the New Hampshire Union Leader. And finally, our gold sponsors, the British Columbia Trade and Investment Office and Bank of America. Finally, thank you to Gray Chinawith, Liz Hitchcock, and the Millworks Fund II investors, the Business Finance Authority, who made tonight's investment possible through the Millworks Fund II. And I want to extend a huge thank you to everyone working on the Innovation Summit Committee, as well as our judges. We are so grateful for your contributions to this event and your continued support of our organization. It is with great enthusiasm that I introduce you to our former board chair, 2012 Entrepreneur of the Year recipient, and one of our biggest supporters, Tom Daly.
Thanks, Julie. 8 years ago, Matt Pearson and I started the NH Millworks Fund, and it was backed by a collection of 20 angel investors who made a 5-year pledge of capital and resources to accelerate New Hampshire's technology ecosystem. At founding, the fund had two main goals. First, it sought to back innovative New Hampshire-based startups, and second, it looked to expand and catalyze the New Hampshire investor community to ensure that startups were invested in, and even if they weren't, would benefit from mentorship, networking, talent, and capital to help develop the next generation of companies with global impact. NH Millworks Fund I partnered with 15 companies to invest $500,000 across the state. And building on that success, Gray Chenoweth and Liz Hitchcock have followed on by building NH Millworks Fund II, which expanded the investment pool to 40 investors partnered with the New Hampshire Business Finance Authority. Together, more than 24 companies have benefited from the two Millworks funds. Liz and Gray are unable to join us in the studio today, but they recorded the following video to talk about the trends that they've seen in New Hampshire's ecosystem.
Hi, I'm Liz Hitchcock.
And I'm Gray Chinaweth. And thanks for joining us. We're excited to be here with you for another installment of a celebration of New Hampshire's tech ecosystem with the New Hampshire Tech Alliance. It really has been such an exciting journey over these past 3 years as we've engaged with lots of different companies, just as we did this year, in an effort to write some checks to make those entrepreneurial dreams come true, to have them make more progress, to build great companies here in New Hampshire. We started this a few years ago, and I think we've seen a lot of progress. Liz, do you mind talking about why we started it and what we've seen since we started writing checks out of Millworks Fund II?
Definitely, it's been an exciting 3 years. We've seen incredible growth in the investor portion of New Hampshire. From Orbit Group to York IE to 10X, it's continued to grow. Great personal investors, including Matt Mara, Corey Von Wallenstein, and Jason Syverson. We've also seen an amazing growth in businesses in New Hampshire. Places like Datanomics and Adaptation, and more than I can ever start to name.
It's been really exciting, and that's why we're so excited to be back this year to write another check. There were some great companies that we got to look through, some great founders that we got to engage with, and we'll be back in a minute to reveal the $200,000 check that we're going to be investing this year in a New Hampshire-based company.
One of the startups you're about to see is the recipient of a $200,000 investment from the Millworks Fund II. And while the decision's already been made tonight, we're looking to you, our audience, to determine this evening's People's Choice Award. So once all the startups have pitched, we invite you to vote for your favorite through the Poll Everywhere link in the program, and it's also available in the chat below. Having said that, I'm going to turn it over to the Innovation Summit Committee co-chair, Gary Sloper, to introduce tonight's Startup Showcase. Gary?
Thank you, Tom. We want to thank everyone online who decided to attend and watch while we make this easier for you. Now you can watch from the comfort of your home and wear sweatpants, potentially. Oh yeah, we even have a new hashtag for this event, Innovate603, for all of you social media buffs, so go out there and post. Let the world know who New Hampshire is. The companies you are about to see are based here in New Hampshire, vying for the People's Choice and Millworks II Funding Award. Usually we would invite these startups in a live presentation pitch to showcase their business, strategy, and vision for their company. However, today, they have been invited here into the studio to state their business focus, just like an in-person event, so you at home don't miss out on their success. Startups, for some, seem like a glamorous option to leave big corporate life. However, many people don't realize startup life is not all about foosball tables and beers on tap. Entrepreneurs who start a company are often by themselves questioning, did I make the right choice? Should I take an investment? How will I acquire customers? And nobody knows my product like I do are some of the thoughts which come to their minds often. Today, we'll hear from 6 startups hustling here in New Hampshire to take their scrappy company to a whole new dimension. Josh and I will introduce you to these startups after we take a moment to recognize one of the sponsors that made this evening possible. They are not just a sponsor, but a New Hampshire company who is funding, advising, and growing companies around the world. Their backgrounds, mentorship, and execution can be found on the world stage, but their early creations started here in Manchester.
In New Hampshire, we believe in the live free or die motto, which is an incredibly entrepreneurial way of life. That mentality is just one of the many reasons why New Hampshire is such a special place to start, grow, and scale your business. I know because that is exactly what I am doing with my company. My name is Kyle York, and I am the CEO of York IE. York IE is a vertically integrated investment firm powered by market, data, and analytics, focused on growth, go-to-market, and strategy. Our vision is to reshape the way startups are built, scaled, and monetized. We do that through investing in B2B SaaS companies, offering services to help startups scale, and through our own SaaS-based Fuel platform. We support hundreds of startups across our portfolio, have created thousands of good jobs. But the old saying is true, there is no place like home, especially when that home is New Hampshire, a state tailor-made for innovation. Live free or die.
The New Hampshire Tech Alliance has been working with startups in New Hampshire for years. We do it in a variety of ways, from one-on-one office hours to pitch camps, from startup accelerators to fundamental boot camps, from startup pitch competitions to investor speed dating for founders. Everything has culminated into our Innovation Summit to close out this year. We are thrilled to introduce to you 6 startups innovating here in New Hampshire. We know you will be amazed by what is being done right here in your backyard.
Before we hear from our startups, let's talk very quickly about how you can vote for People's Choice Award. After all the pitches, we will provide you with a text and link that you can use to vote for one of the startups to be your selection of the People's Choice. After voting is finished, we will all visit our networking platform to hang out live and discuss the startups and Entrepreneur of the Year and congratulate our People's Choice Award winner.
Now on to our first startup. When I think about innovation, it's easy to think about robots. Autonomous robots. Autonomous robots that help us do our jobs. Please welcome Waypoint Robotics.
Hey, this is Jason Walker with Waypoint Robotics, and we're trying to do for robots what Apple did for MP3 players, which is to look at the entire user experience and make it as fun and easy to use as they did when they introduced the iPod. What we find from our customers is that it's just incredibly hard to find and retain good people. A lot of their great workers are aging out of the workforce, and there's not very many new workers coming in. So manufacturing and logistics markets, especially in the on-demand, high-mix economies, are just really struggling to meet demand with the workforce that they have. And the pandemic has only made that worse. On top of that, material handling is the most frequent cause of workplace injuries. And so we find a lot of customers who really want to increase the safety for their employees. We've been finding for a long time that the problem with the robots has always been the robots. There were a lot of companies that could use robots in automation, but they resisted adopting them because you always needed to either modify the environment or hire outside experts, and that was extremely expensive. And if you're a small to mid-sized enterprise and everything changes all the time, then the cost to set that up and maintain it, especially if you had to change it every week or every month, was just never going to pay itself back. And so people never moved forward with the technology. So at Waypoint, what we did is we tried to make an incredibly intuitive machine that the folks who are on the job today, the assembly line workers and the shipping and receiving clerks, these folks can take this tool and they can make it work for them. We made it move like a person moves by having it be omnidirectional. We made it see like a person sees by giving it 3D perception. And we gave it enough payload that it can really be useful. We also made the dispatcher software, which allows the users to set it up in as little as 15 minutes. And there's a big green button at every step of the way, so it's really easy to get this thing going. We get a lot of feedback that people really can get it and put it to work in the first 15 minutes. On a day-to-day basis, when folks are using it, the whistle software works exactly like an elevator, so people already get how to use it. And batteries and charging are always an extremely difficult problem to solve for anything that uses a battery. So we invented the end-zone wireless charging system so that it would be zero maintenance, highly reliable, and extremely safe. Customers also want to have the robots automatically load and unload themselves so that the robots can do more of the work on their own without distracting people from the high-value work that they're doing. So we invented several top modules, including conveyors, the Kingpin lift deck, and even this mobile manipulator platform for machine tending. But something even as simple as a shelf is something that, with an autonomous mobile robot, you want to get right. And so we solved that problem for our customers as well. The Vector starts at a 300-pound payload capacity. It can be ordered with a 600-pound payload capacity, and our Mavic robot goes up to 3,000 pounds. An example of the heavy-duty Vector working is in this e-commerce facility where they had a hard time finding and retaining people. Their packages are big and heavy, and the carts that they were manually pushing around were just getting heavier and heavier as business increased. And so while they were running 2 shifts and really struggling to find enough people to pick and pack all of these shipments, they were running 2 shifts and still weren't able to keep up. And they were still losing people all the time. And so they switched to the autonomous mobile robots and a voice picking system, and they were able to triple their picking capacity using these heavy-duty custom-designed carts, and they doubled the overall output of the company and were able to do it in just 1 shift with a 99.9% accuracy rate. So it was a tremendous outcome for them. Waypoint was founded in 2017, and we're funded privately by a New Hampshire company that has been in business for decades. We've been growing organically through reinvesting the profits we make from selling robots, and we design, build, service, and support all of those robots right here in Nashua, New Hampshire. So being a local company in the USA is another thing that our customers really appreciate. We design primarily for manufacturing and warehousing, but remote sensing and research platforms with the DoD and universities are also key markets for us. If you'd like to reach us, you can find us at waypointrobotics.com or on any of the social channels at Waypoint Robo. Thanks. Have a great day.
Such a great startup. Love the innovation that Waypoint is doing here in New Hampshire. Speaking of innovation, this next startup is working in a space important to all of us, lighting. We can't do our work without it, and most of us don't think much about the lights around us. Lumen Mesh is changing that.
Hello, my name is Chris Dobrisky, and my company is Lumen Mesh. We provide our users with the right light at the right time. At Lumen Mesh, we develop and assemble solid-state lighting fixtures that are color tunable and wirelessly controlled by Bluetooth low-energy mesh networks. So that means all of our fixtures have 2 different spectrums of light that will automatically adjust color temperature throughout the day to support your circadian rhythms, and you can control a room full of lights or an entire building with just your cell phone. Antiquated legacy lighting systems are dumb. All they do is provide light on your desk so you can see the piece of paper that you're working on. And the light that they do provide is harmful. It's producing ultraviolet light, it's flickering, and it's not giving you the right spectrum at the right time. It's time for lighting to do more, and the Lumen Mesh system does this. We started Lumen Mesh in 2019 based on our experiences in the LED industry since 2014, where through our trials and tribulations and upheaval in the industry that we saw, we found that the future of lighting would be tunable and wireless. And we have 4 main form factors of lights, our primary one being this linear fixture. And I've personally installed thousands of this type of light throughout New England. So we've focused our research and development into getting all of our capabilities to fit inside this fixture for easy installation for our customers. We've also just recently produced an ultraviolet light to help with disinfection and deactivation of germs. Our Bluetooth low energy mesh control system is from a company called Kasami. They're based out of Finland. They've been in the industry since 2011. And they've worked with us to not only develop our system, but also take feedback to develop their system and add additional capabilities, such as their recent development of a web-based API, where we're allowed to go in and develop a web-based interface for specific capabilities to work with their app. Since the advent of LEDs and adjustable spectrums, researchers have been able to make huge advancements in the understanding of circadian rhythms and how light affects our bodies. And it's well established that humans need blue light. We need 480 nanometer spectrum throughout the day to stop melatonin production in our bodies and make us more alert and more awake. And in the evenings, we need to remove blue light. We need to remove 480 nanometers so our bodies start producing melatonin again to get us ready to go to bed. And again, that helps support our 24-hour clock, our circadian rhythms. And based on our experience, this process needs to happen seamlessly. It can't require any sort of user input. And that's what the Lumen Mesh system does. We'll automatically adjust color temperature throughout the day based on a preset schedule. The Internet of Things revolution has started. Adding internet capabilities to inanimate objects like your fridge or your heating system for advanced capabilities has been a huge push. And Bluetooth Mesh will be the communication protocol that creates the IoT revolution mass adoption. Some of the major benefits to the Bluetooth Mesh network is asset tracking. So you attach this little green tag to a pallet of inventory or a patient in a hospital, and through communication into the lighting network, this little tag will tell you where that asset is anywhere in the building. And another advantage of Bluetooth Mesh is that it's an established technology. It's in billions of devices right now. It's in everybody's smartphone. So it's a wireless communication protocol that people are comfortable with and they understand. The Lumen Mesh products are differentiated in that they're a simple all-in-one package. All of our fixtures are all-in-one. The Bluetooth communication, the LED driver, the LED components are all inside the fixture in a simple form factor, so there's no separate hardware to install. It's simple and easy, plug and play. We intend to sell directly to our customers through online sales to remove a lot of the hurdles and hassles of existing lighting sales channels that involve distributors and warehousing. And our app is the simplest and easiest to use. We've studied dozens of wireless lighting control systems over the years, and the Kasambi system is the most straightforward to add new fixtures to your network and very intuitive to make adjustments to color temperature or dimming or anything like that. Our ideal customer is Joe. He's a facilities manager for a large medical device company. They just got a huge contract to develop COVID vaccine supplies. So they have a lot of money to invest in new employees and capital improvements. And Joe has been with the company for a long time. So he has things running smoothly, and he's able to do the lighting upgrade himself in stages. He can do a few rooms this month, a few rooms next month, and that's what our system is built for. Easy commissioning new lights to the network, easy installation, so Joe can handle it all himself. Our current material cost of goods sold average about $60 per fixture, and competitive fixtures are retailing for about $800 in the market right now. Again, thank you. My name is Chris Dobrisky. My company is Lumen Mesh, and we give our users the right light at the right time.
Thank you, Lumen Mesh. Our next startup is taking things to a new level, literally. Many people don't know the history that New Hampshire has with space and NASA. UNH has been designing, building, and delivering satellite instruments to NASA and the European Space Agency for over 30 years. They've had a hand in every major space weather satellite mission. Let's check out what this startup has in store.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Grimmett, and I am the CEO of Rogue Space Systems. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about what we do, and that is we build space robots right here in New Hampshire. We're designing, building systems capable of delivering orbital services to a market that is currently vacant. Our goal here is to continue our tradition of innovation. Here in New Hampshire, the Industrial Revolution, it thrived right here in our cities, throughout our people, and it can be felt today. So our goal here is to continue that tradition right into the new space age. Let me show you how.
Most people think of space as an infinite void that we can use over and over again, but space closer to Earth is becoming more and more crowded. It's becoming almost a junkyard.
It's hundreds of thousands of different objects, both large and small, that are currently in orbit.
When it's all going about 10 times the speed of a rifle round. So, that's some stuff that can do quite a bit of damage if it hits you.
What we do is rapid innovation of satellite technology for whatever is needed up in space.
These are systems that are built and designed around solving the space debris problem over the long term. I would say it's not rocket science, but it is. If we don't maintain the spatial environment, if we don't take care of things the way that they need to be, it could have serious consequences here on Earth. Our team is made up of a number of different engineers and scientists all across defense and aerospace industries. We have everyone from physicists to mechanical engineers, electronics engineers, machine learning and artificial intelligence. So many different disciplines all coming together to develop some really amazing technology to provide services that don't currently exist in space today.
This is just an unprecedented time in the privatization of space. I feel like we're pioneering. I think we have some more innovative approaches than some of our competitors, and we're excited to test them out.
The stuff we're working on is really exciting because no one else is doing it, and everyone we talk to has been incredibly impressed with not only our technology, but the speed in which we're able to deliver it.
We love problems. We wake up in the morning hoping to find a problem because then we get to go solve it. It's got to get done. Someone's got to deliver these services. Someone has to solve these problems. why not us? Why not a small little aerospace company in a small town in New Hampshire? Why not?
Hello from Christchurch, New Zealand. My name's Josh and I'm calling in from a company called Dawn Aerospace. We make space planes, kind of like the one that's up here, and little engines to bolt onto the back of satellites. Space and sustainability typically aren't seen as two things that marry together, but the team at Rogue are building something that very much does merge these two worlds. This is a definite cause worth supporting. So get on board.
Robots in space, how cool is that? Right here in New Hampshire. Next, we come back to universities. Again, looking at a model that hasn't changed in decades and is ripe for innovation. Let me introduce you to Ecotext.
Hi, my name is Joel Kunku, CEO of Ecotext, a startup that is tackling the problem of expensive academic resources. And we've all been there before. Our undergraduate or graduate career, every semester, we pick up our syllabus and we have an internal debate about how we're gonna cover these out-of-pocket costs. And I was no different studying engineering at the University of New Hampshire. Now, I developed somewhat of a strategic way to get all my textbooks every semester, but I still couldn't shake off this feeling that there had to have been a better way to accomplish this. And so I founded Ecotext in 2018, but it really wasn't until late 2019 or early 2020 where we really realized a blueprint about how we could grow, scale, and provide impact to academic environments across the nation. So to put it simply, Ecotext is a collaborative digital learning platform that brings academic resources to life while unlocking classroom discussion and insights. And it's precisely why we have an opportunity to disrupt a $14 billion textbook marketplace. And there's a lot of contributors that make up this somewhat of a perfect storm of why Ecotext can come into the market and provide impact. The $300 textbook is dead. Students are reluctant to buy heavily priced textbooks, and professors are reconsidering them to be included within their curriculums. Now, it's undeniable today that EdTech is not just a complementary part of the classroom, but truly a fundamental pillar. And of course, the untraditional has now become the new traditional. The demographics of the classroom is changing. And not only that, but the student journey is also changing. So we need tools that can be adaptive and can really address this new change in education. And that's really where Ecotext comes in. We bring the textbook to life. So not only are you able to highlight, bookmark, and annotate, but students and professors can dynamically collaborate right within the margins. And as a consequence, we develop an environment to engage students more thoroughly, but also be more suggestive and increase academic curiosity. And with Ecotext, bringing it back full circle, it's always been about education, economy, and environment, our three pillars. And there's more and more studies being released today that correlate dropout and retention and transfer rates with the struggling financial costs of out-of-pocket textbooks. So we have the ability, if we address this problem, to dynamically change positively the enrollment statuses for several different institutions. And by this, we can create opportunity through affordability. And I'm super proud of our team. You know, they've been the ones behind us that's been leading Ecotext and pushing us to this current stage. And additionally, we're a UNH homegrown company with most of the executive team and the advisors being from New Hampshire. It's been incredible to watch the engagement, the growth, and the pilots that we've been able to run right within the state. And so help us create opportunity through affordability. Just this past year, we were able to close our first partnership deal with OpenStax, and we're on track to inking our first institutional deals. We're trying to run as many pilots as possible, so if you know of students or instructors within your network, make sure to tell them to check us out at ecotex.co. Thank you.
Ecotex has done such a wonderful job building their business, a great inspiration for startup founders coming out of our higher ed institutions like UNH. Before we continue, I would like to introduce you to two of our sponsors, one a top 20 national firm who is proud to give their clients the value and experience in a wide range of offerings within the accounting, tax, and consulting services area. The second is our amazing production sponsor, Events United. They have produced over 100 virtual events since March here at the Studio Lab. Their production facility is unbelievable. You can find out more at eventsunited.us.
Curiosity is at the heart of everything we do. It makes us smarter. It makes us better. It makes us Whipfly. As the world continues to change, we are helping our clients capitalize on opportunity and take on whatever comes next. Always advancing, always progressing. From curiosity to clarity to results. That's Whipfly.
In 2020, the world's most amazing shows were about to begin, and then there were crickets. So what do? Well, I'll tell you. We bring all that gear back where it lives. In-house. Our house. Now take all the emotion that you experience here, or here, and wrap it together with the right talent and amazing crew, and you get this. All those amazing events you want to put on throughout the year, they're still possible. Connecting with your team around the world or singing your way through your event. Our goal is to give you the platform to reach the people you want to be with most. So sit back and relax while the show goes on.
Now back to our startups. If any of you have ever rented an apartment or managed a rental, you know the painful process that exists. RentView is here to help.
Hello, we are RentView. We are a highly qualified team of CPM, ARM asset managers who created a property service logistics and management method that we developed into a prop tech application. Over the last 10 years, our CEO, David Norman, and myself, the co-creator of RentView, has perfected the remote management model. Most notably, during his time with Cityside Management, David Norman was the director of operations. His team was tasked with creating a solution to oversee a 13 statewide portfolio of foreclosed tenant-occupied rental homes for Fannie Mae, and went on to achieve the highest QC scores ever awarded for overall performance, quality of work, and eliminating client risk. This management model was perfected again for large REITs that utilized our consulting company to assist them in scaling the rental portfolios in 32 states across the country. RentView is built on this learning and designed to manage large portfolios of properties with low overhead and low human resource requirements. We are opening our service up to the millions of rental property owners into an industry that is ripe for disruption.
Before RentView, owners were given two choices. One, use a traditional property management company and give to 7 to 10% of their monthly profits, or use do-it-yourself self-management tools that do nothing to alleviate the challenges of managing a property or gaining access to on-demand property service providers. RentView solved these two major issues. Issue number one, our Smart Manager technology eliminated the need to pay costly management fees to access rental services by creating transparency and efficiency. Issue number two, 60% of all rental owners identified maintenance as their top pain point. Owners of rental properties can simply add a property to RentView Smart Manager that directs a network of property service professionals who are tasked to perform services according to the industry's best management practices, or simply order one-off services as they are needed. Our vision is to continue to develop a branded, automated property management technology that gives RentView community renters and rental property owners an advantage in the rental property market space. We believe our technology and services will continue to decrease the cost of rental property management and encourage young investors to invest and scale asset wealth quicker, as well as bring much-needed innovation to the millions of investors who are actively searching for solutions to increase profits.
Thank you, RentView. Our final startup is one that I've had the great pleasure to connect with this year. The team's passion for their mission and their love of New Hampshire is always evident. Take it away, Study.
Hey everyone, I'm Gino Miller, CEO and co-founder of Study. And Study is a diversity hiring marketplace that helps companies hire the best Black, Latinx, and Native American tech talent for their workforces. The problem is that companies and candidates want to connect with each other, but they're failing to do so. You see, companies struggle to source, hire, and retain qualified tech candidates of color. And at the same time, qualified tech candidates of color struggle to get noticed by their dream companies. And this problem exists because no reliable solution is out there that enables companies and qualified technical candidates of color to quickly and easily vet and connect with each other. And the result, that's a massive, diverse talent pool that companies are missing out on. And here at Study, that's exactly the problem that we're solving. Study is the first diversity hiring platform that vets technical candidates of color with a coding assessment, trains candidates in soft skills, and connects them with career opportunities at inclusive and innovative Fortune 500s and high-growth tech companies. You can sort of think of it as a LinkedIn recruiter exclusively for top tech talent of color. You see, how it works is pretty simple. First, the recruiter logs into their profile and they submit their job role details. Next, the recruiter reviews top candidates that are presented to them based on their preferences and skill sets. Thirdly, the candidate accepts the interview request sent from the recruiter, and then they chat. Fourthly, the recruiter shares a candidate profile with their hiring team for approval. And then finally, once approved, the recruiter can then send a job offer to the candidate all directly through the platform. And you see, our team is a huge part as to the reason why we'll win and have success. You see, we're experts who live the problem we're solving and dedicate our lives to solving this exact same problem. You see, I grew up in Washington, D.C., and my co-founder, Ray Vaughn, he's from Brooklyn, New York. And he knows exactly what it's like firsthand to be a tech candidate leaving college and then searching for a job, but struggling to get seen by recruiters. Long story short, we met 6 years ago in college, ended up moving to Palo Alto, lived there for 10 months to really conduct research and hundreds of interviews with Tesla, Airbnb, and many more companies. And Study came to fruition out of that. It's now my fourth startup. We also have a great support system behind us, including our advisor and friend and investor, Scott Gorell, who's a former president of Ask Jeeves, Dictionary.com, and the CEO of Good Shop. And here I just want to give you a quick sneak peek at the platform. You see, what really makes Study unique is our vetting process. And over time, our technology will only grow because we'll collect more data, more candidates will use the platform, and eventually our AI algorithm will enable us to easily connect candidates and companies based on skill sets and preferences. So you can see here how you can add new skills with the candidates and things of that sort. And once the candidate completes the screening quiz, that approves them. So with regards to market size, you see there are 24.2 million small to medium enterprises in the United States. And if each SME hired one candidate from us, that totals a $484 billion addressable U.S. market. And you see, our mission is to put wealth back into underrepresented communities of color and to keep it there. And by year 5, we're on pace to reach $40 million and double the current number of engineers of color in the tech workforce from 9% to 18%. But see, why now? Companies spend $8 billion a year on diversity hiring initiatives, yet people of color represent only 9% of all tech employees. And you see, that number has only grown since COVID-19. And that's forced companies also to find remote hiring solutions if they want to continue to be leaders in their industries. And how we make money is pretty simple. Companies pay $20,000 per year and receive 1 year of full access to our proprietary database. And the best part is Study is 100% free for all job seekers. And by helping people get tech jobs, we're not just saving families, but we're saving generations. And if you want to join us on our mission in creating equity in tech, I'm more than happy to chat with you. Thanks.
Thank you, Study. Now it's time for all of you to participate. You can now vote for the people's choice. You see on the screen here, you have 2 options to vote. Visit nhtechalliance.com/vote or text to the number listed on the screen and select your choice. Once you have voted, you are all set. We will announce the winner at the end of the program. Before we continue, I would like to introduce you to one of our sponsors. This is a Fortune 1000 global solutions provider that's connected people with technology to enhance growth, elevate productivity, and empower innovation. Following Connection's message, we'll be introducing you to the Entrepreneur of the Year and presenting one of these 6 startups, the Millworks Fund II check.
Together doesn't always mean being in the same room, walking the same halls, or sharing the same space. Sometimes, together means being apart. From our work, from our families, from our friends. Sometimes, together means finding connection in front of a screen or behind a mask. From 6 feet apart or hundreds of miles away. Sometimes together means preparing those behind the scenes and on the front lines. The people of Connection are supporting first responders, hospitals, and researchers together. Keep connecting. Soon, we'll be together again.
Hi, my name is Matt Benson. I am the chair of the board of the New Hampshire Tech Alliance. 32 years ago, a young inventor named Dean Kamen was honored as the first recipient of the New Hampshire Tech Alliance's New Entrepreneur of the Year Award. That was 1988, when fax machines and music CDs were going mainstream. Fast forward to 2020, and while the work of Dean Kamen is as relevant as ever, so much technological innovation has occurred and altered how we live, work, play, and interact. I'm certain that it would have been hard to imagine a virtual event where our winner is able to accept their award via live-streamed video back in '88, but then again, there's not much about 2020 that has been predictable. We hope that most of you were able to tune into the panel of past entrepreneurs yesterday, but not to worry, if you missed it, you will be able to catch a recording of it and our other virtual programs by subscribing to New Hampshire Tech Alliance's YouTube channel. It is now my pleasure to turn it over to the co-chair of the summit, Gary Sloper, to announce this year's recipient.
Before we get to the big announcement, I want to take a moment to thank the Entrepreneur of the Year judges. Bill O'Sullivan with Sheehan Finney, Marianne Christensen from the Hannah Grimes Center, Matt Maury with Business New Hampshire Magazine, David Salzberg with Merrill Lynch, Paul Milhart with Army, and Steve Thorpe, Adaptive Communications. So the moment you've all been waiting for, we would like to congratulate Bob Wilkins, the 2020 EOI winner. Bob Wilkins intentionally located SoClean in Peterborough so it could serve as a cornerstone of the business community and actively participate in local sponsorships, community partnerships, and mentoring programs. In early 2020, in response to the COVID-19 outbreak, SoClean created Masks for New Hampshire, a private and philanthropic sector initiative to supply at least 250,000 masks to New Hampshire healthcare facilities. Through SoClean's network and Bob's personal contacts, more than $200,000 was raised to support this effort, including significant cash and in-kind donations from SoClean, resulting in masks being distributed to over 200 healthcare providers. Prior to founding SoClean, Bob spent 11 years as president and executive vice president with Connection. Bob was instrumental in turning a private company with $250 million in annual sales into a profitable public company with $750 million in annual sales in 4 years. During his tenure, the company grew to $1.6 billion in annual sales and 1,700 employees. A serial entrepreneur, Bob has founded 9 companies, one of which includes Max Place, which was acquired by Egghead Software. He also founded Zones, where he quickly grew annual revenue to $600 million and helped take the company public. In New Hampshire, he founded Zifter Shop, the only platform where resellers can manage their e-commerce, website sales, and marketplaces in one location. Another company of his, AirTank, which has become a hybrid angel fund and sales and marketing agency, has proven very successful. Bob also holds 2 technology patents, 2 game patents, and has several patents pending for software products. He is also an active mentor, investor, and donor in the community. Bob was not able to join us in the studio today, but he did record the following message.
Wow, what a year. I want to thank the New Hampshire Tech Alliance for this great honor. I think of any year that I've been an entrepreneur, this is the year we've had to be more entrepreneurial than ever in dealing with all the twists and changes and turns we're all working through with the pandemic and COVID. You know, we made the decision back in March at SoClean to work remotely. We were able to move 90% of our workforce to remote locations very quickly, literally in 48 hours. A great tech team that allowed us to do that. And then we had to do what everybody else is doing right now is figure out how are we going to work virtually? How's this culture going to work? How are we going to live together and be together? I think one of the things that got us through it really early in helping us was the fact that we wanted to help, and we thought we had technology that could help or connections that could help with the pandemic. Early on, we couldn't get a hold of masks, we couldn't get a hold of PPE equipment. We had some connections that we were able to source through and bring masks into New Hampshire. We formed the Master New Hampshire Alliance, and that brought hundreds of thousands of masks to care workers and people in the field that needed them. And it took a huge team effort, and I think it really helped us as a company during that time period because we were focused on that thing, and we could forget about some of the other things that were going on in the unknown world of the pandemic at that point. 2 people really stood out that helped us through that. It took a whole team, but Eric Burbank, our VP of Logistics, and John Garzas. John's a great entrepreneur in himself and helped us behind the scenes in getting through red tape and getting the masks here to help everybody else out. I just wanted to a special call out to both those individuals. You know, being an entrepreneur means that you surround yourself with great people. You surround yourself with people that can help you fill your gaps and get where you need to go. And I've been lucky in my career that I've been able to do that. Everybody who's worked around me has been better, smarter at what they do than I am. It's been a great honor to work with the team I've got now and the teams I've had in the past. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that has been on all these rides with me through the years. There's certainly been a lot of them, a lot of good ones, and as any entrepreneur knows, you've got some bad ones in there too, and I appreciate it very much. You know, when I was recruited here over 25 years ago to New Hampshire, I was living in Seattle. I was recruited by PC Connection back in '95, and Pat Gallup and David Hall were the founders of that company. You know, Pat was Entrepreneur of the Year in 2003 and was really the public face of PC Connection. People didn't know who David Hall was. He was the behind the scenes guy and really the visionary who shaped the early part of the industry and helped shape a lot of my career. You know, David came up with things like overnight shipping for $3 when nobody did overnight shipping back then, let alone for $3. And the ability to ship or take an order until 2 a.m. in the morning and ship the same day. Nobody was able to do that. And we kind of think about those things as second nature, but David created those things and made those things happen. And again, I learned a lot from David. I'm talking about David right now because unfortunately, David passed away a couple weeks ago. You know, he meant a lot to me. And where I went in my career, and I just wanted to give a shout out to David and make this dedication, this award to David Hall, who really was one of the greatest quiet entrepreneurs in this country, and he deserves some recognition for all the things he did for the state and for our industry. I want to thank the New Hampshire Tech Alliance again. This is been a tough time for all of us, but I really appreciate the award, the recognition, and it really goes to the whole team that got us here and got me here. And again, I appreciate it to everybody. Stay safe. Keep making things happen. As an entrepreneur, that's what you got to do is keep the ball going and keep moving forward and dream. If I could tell anybody what to do to become an entrepreneur is dream, create a vision, put it in your mind, believe it, believe what's in your mind, that picture can happen. And somehow, some way, if you wake up every day and you think about that picture, things happen around you to make that happen. And you just move on those when you can. And that's what being an entrepreneur is creating a vision, thinking about it, and making things happen. Stay safe. Thank you again for this honor. I really appreciate it.
I'm excited to say congratulations and welcome to the New Hampshire Tech Alliance Entrepreneur of the Year community. As a former member and winner of this award, really excited to welcome you and proud of the accomplishments you have persevered here in 2020, a very tough year at a global level, and really excited to see the continued growth and ingenuity here in New Hampshire.
Congratulations to the 2020 Entrepreneur of the Year.
Congratulations, 2020 recipient or recipients of the New Hampshire High Tech Alliance Entrepreneur of the Year. Welcome to the club. I am a member of the 2012 recipients, and it is just a great list and a great honor to be a part of. So you should feel like you've accomplished so much, but keep in mind, there's more in your professional career that you have to achieve. So keep going, keep pushing, keep innovating.
I'm Senator Maggie Hassan. First of all, I just want to thank the New Hampshire Tech Alliance for hosting this year's Innovation Summit. And a special shout out to all of the participants in the Tech Out competition. And congratulations to all of the nominees for Entrepreneur of the Year. New Hampshire's innovation-based businesses and entrepreneurs truly are the engine of our economy. You create good jobs, you strengthen the middle class, and I know that you are the backbone of our communities. I also know that the pandemic has created obstacles for all of New Hampshire's businesses, and that certainly includes some unique challenges for new businesses in that startup and early growth phase. I'm working across party lines in Congress to make sure that innovators and entrepreneurs have the tools that they need to weather this pandemic. And that includes, of course, working across party lines to forge another bipartisan COVID-19 relief package that will include, among other measures, substantial help for our small businesses. The New Hampshire Tech Alliance has been a really great resource and partner as I work with all of you to make sure that we have the supports in place in New Hampshire to help our innovation sector grow and thrive. And I'm going to continue to do that as we look now beyond the pandemic to a time when we can all come together and restart our economy and move forward. I want to thank you all for everything you do, urge you to keep safe and well. I look forward to seeing you on the other side of this pandemic in person, and just want to say keep up the great work. Thanks.
Congratulations, Bob. The goal of this summit is to celebrate every stage of an entrepreneur's journey. So with that in mind, it's time for us to usher one startup closer to their goals with a significant investment. Join me in welcoming back Gray and Liz to announce the recipient of the $200,000 Millworks Fund Series II investment.
So while there are a lot of great competitors this year, there was one company that's made amazing progress. And what's really exciting about this company is that it's not the first time we've heard from them. We also heard from them last year. We didn't decide to write a check. We gave them some feedback about how they could improve their business, show more traction, grow as entrepreneurs. And you know what? They came back a year later. And this year we're excited to do what, Liz?
We're going to award them the gigantic check.
Yeah, so this year we're excited to work with Joel and the rest of the team at Ecotext. We're going to be seeking to invest $200,000 in their company and can't wait to see what they're going to do in New Hampshire and around the world and around the country for students who are looking to attain their educational goals while saving a little bit of money. It's really going to be an amazing platform, and they're really amazing people and amazing entrepreneurs. So excited to get behind the team. And Thanks so much for all of your engagement, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys. Congrats.
Congratulations, Ecotext. Here is your $200,000 check.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I appreciate it. I'm so honored being selected, and really this is just another step forward. More momentum for the team, the company, the community, the vision in general. And while I might be the only person right now taking this check, I really want to highlight the Ecotext team. They're really a bunch of rock stars, and so super excited to continue to grind and get some great work done.
Congratulations to the rest of our startups for their outstanding pitches. I'm sure it will be just a matter of time before we're recognizing some of you as an Entrepreneur of the Year.
The New Hampshire Tech Alliance Innovation Summit has sadly come to an end, and we hope you enjoyed the program. If you liked what you saw today, we are always looking for additional volunteers with fresh ideas to make the New Hampshire tech ecosystem grow. Check out newhampshiretechalliance.org to see where you can help, attend events, and learn more about the technology innovation in New Hampshire. I'd be remiss if I didn't extend another thank you to our sponsors and volunteers that made this evening possible. Voting is closing now, so join us on Remo to celebrate the 2020 Entrepreneur of the Year, the People's Choice Award winner, and Ecotext, who just received a significant investment from the Millworks Fund. Thank you, New Hampshire.